Dear children, in today's session, we are going to continue with the next part of the lesson from here to there. At the end of the session, children, you all will be able to understand the importance of vehicles and how the invention of wheel has changed our lives. You will also be able to identify special vehicles and be able to say what they are used for and understand what is a fuel and the names of fuels on which different vehicles run. Children, you will also be able to list out vehicles which have 2, 3, 4 and more than 4 wheels. So, the subtopics we will be dealing with today are understanding the importance of vehicles, special vehicles, and fuels on which vehicles run. Children, first, before beginning with the lesson, we need to answer a very important question as to why do people travel? If you think of a few reasons, you may just say that I travel to school every day in my school bus, or my parents travel to their offices every day. There are so many reasons why people travel. People may travel to visit their family and friends who live far away. They may travel looking for jobs or any other job related travel, like your parents may travel abroad or outside Delhi or within some place in Delhi where they might have to attend some meetings or seminars. Then people may travel just because they want to learn more about other places, traditions, and cultures. And sometimes you just travel for the pleasure of traveling, like for sightseeing. You visit and see new places during your vacations. Before talking about the importance of vehicles for today, we first need to know the story of the wheel. It's a long story. In the beginning, man had to walk on foot to travel from place to place. Since they had to walk, it took a very long time to commute to places and also carry loads. They had to think of a better option, which was to tame animals and to carry loads for them. They mostly used animals such as donkeys, camels, elephants, and other animals for their comfort. They also made sledges with flat pieces of wood and pulled them along their way. But all these methods did not help much, as they had to make great efforts. One day, early man saw a round piece of log rolling down a mountain, and a sudden idea struck him. He understood that cutting blocks of these round pieces of wood and rolling them along would help him carry goods easily. So now we can see from that primitive olden day sledges, carts, how we got the modern day wheels and how improved they are. Children, we also need to know that these days man uses wheels in machines to make his work simpler and easier. Right from the wrist watches that you wear to the clocks and so many other complex machines that are used in the factories and industries have wheels to make the work more simpler and easier. Now, we are going to go on to the importance of vehicles. You all know that vehicles have become very important in our day-to-day lives to travel short and long distances. Vehicles help us in traveling and transporting goods from one place to another place very easily. Moreover, children, they also save our time and energy. If somebody had asked you to walk to your school from your home, maybe which is at Indrapuram or Vaishali or Delhi, it would take you more than an hour to reach your school, right? So saving our time and energy. So without vehicles, our lives would be very difficult. Then we can say that different vehicles have different purposes. Like, for example, trucks carry goods, buses, aeroplanes, and trains carry passengers from one place to another. So now let's move on to the next subtopic of the day, which is special vehicles. What are special vehicles, children? Just as I told you, vehicles that have different purposes. They have specific or special purposes. These vehicles are known as special vehicles. For example, an ambulance carries patients to the hospital. A fire engine helps to put out fire. Here are some of the special vehicles that you can see in the pictures I have shown you. A fire engine, an ambulance, a police van, a postal van, a milk van, and a taxi. The fire engine is used to put out fire in buildings. An ambulance is used to carry patients to hospitals. A police van is used to maintain law and order by the police by patrolling around the city to check on the safety and security of people. Postal vans deliver letters and milk vans transport milk to the milk booths. And taxis help people to commute to different places. These days, you have taxi services like Uber, Ola, and so many others. So these are some of the special vehicles. I've named only a few of them. You must be knowing many more. Now, let's move on to the next subtopic of the day, which is vehicles with 2 wheels, 3 wheels, 4 wheels, and more than 4 wheels. So let me show you some vehicles with 2 wheels: scooter, cycle, and even bikes, motorbikes. 3 wheels, auto rickshaw, cycle rickshaws, and even tricycles have 3 wheels. Vehicles with 4 wheels: cars, vans, and jeeps. Vehicles with more than 4 wheels. You can see the picture here of a double-decker bus, truck, bus, and metro rail, and also another tempo or a truck. So these are some vehicles which have more than 4 wheels. Now children, let us move to the next topic of today, which is fuel. What is a fuel? First you need to know what do you mean by fuel before understanding the different types of fuels and the different types of fuels used in different vehicles. Fuel, children, is a substance or a material or a liquid that is used to give heat or power, mostly by being burnt. So if you see, fuels are used in machines also, in vehicles and cooking appliances, which make it run or work. In our future lessons, you will be learning how fuel is used in cooking and also in cooking appliances. But in today's lesson, we are going to see the different types of fuels used in vehicles. So let's just name the different types of fuels like wood, coal, oil, diesel, petrol, kerosene, gas, electricity, and sunlight. These days, sunlight is also used as a very important fuel because it helps us in saving it helps us in saving electricity and many other fuels which we are getting. Sunlight is also used as a fuel because it helps us. These days, sunlight is also used as a fuel because it helps us in saving electricity. Now children, let us see some vehicles that run on petrol, diesel or gas. Cars, bikes, auto rickshaws, then jeeps, buses, tempos, scooters, all these vehicles can run on petrol, diesel or on gas. Some vehicles that run by electricity. You can see that these days there are so many battery operated cars and buses and even electric trains and metros and trams run by electricity. Some vehicles run by animals. Children, I've already told you in the beginning of the lesson that vehicles were run by animals in the olden days, in even prehistoric times when early man used to use animals to run his cars. But even these days, these vehicles are very popular in deserts and in snowy areas and even in villages. Bullock carts, tongas, camel carts, and dog sledges are some of the vehicles run by animals. Now, let's move on to the vehicles driven by man. Children, cycles, cycle rickshaws, and hand pulled carts are some of the very popular vehicles that are run by or driven by man. If you see, your vegetable grocer or your vegetable vendor has a hand pulled cart in which he pulls the vegetables from one street to another street and sells vegetables. So now children, we have come to the end of today's session. Let's quickly go through what all we learned today. In today's session, we learned about why people travel from one place to another. Then we saw the story of the wheel and how the wheel evolved from the primitive wheel to the modern wheel. And we saw about the importance of vehicles in our lives, how vehicles help us in traveling from one place to another, and how vehicles save our time and energy and help in doing our work very easily and effectively. We also learnt about special vehicles and their uses in our day-to-day life. We also learnt about special vehicles and their uses in our day-to-day life. Special vehicles are those vehicles which are used for specific purposes, like example, ambulance, fire engine, and we saw so many other special vehicles like milk van, postal van, and police van. We also saw vehicles with 2, 3, 4, and more than 4 wheels with their examples. Finally, we learned about what are fuels and what are the different fuels on which vehicles run, in which we saw examples like petrol, diesel, CNG, electricity, and even sunlight. I hope you all enjoyed this session, children. Thank you.